Hey friend, it's Brandon Gustafson with Assisted Living Investing. Excited to have you here with me on the channel today. Today we are going to be talking about how to manage remotely effectively, how to do that. I have been managing facilities remotely since 2020, so quite a long time, and have a lot of experience with it. So excited to dive into that topic with you today and help you if that's something that you're interested in. I was getting quite a few comments on it on YouTube and in the Facebook group, and so I thought, you know what, this might be a really good time to get on here and share this with people like you who are trying to figure out how to make progress and launch their own assisted living business. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brandon Gustafson. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna shift over here, and we are going to. Sorry, I'm on a different laptop today. My other one needed to do an update, and it's taken a good 30 minutes. So we are. I'm kind of fumbling around. That's why I'm late. If you need some help, make sure you go grab the free business plan checklist right over here. Go to assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist. You can get that free checklist to help you out. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brandon Gustafson. I have owned assisted living facilities since 2020. I've been operating them remotely as well since that time. I live in Utah. I've operated in Colorado and in Idaho. I have secured over $1.5 million in SBA funding. So I understand that process as well, and how to help you obtain that type of funding as you're trying to move things along. I have, my goodness, what else? I have a master's in healthcare administration. So I've been in the healthcare industry since 2011. I have a lot of experience, and I love coaching people. It's one of my favorite things to do. I would love to help you and coach you as you are trying to launch your assisted living business. So that's a little bit about me as we get into this now. My experience, as I mentioned, I have done this in Colorado. I have done this in Idaho. I purchased my first facility in Colorado in September of 2020. We actually just sold it 2 or 3 weeks ago. We did a video on that. So if you haven't watched that yet, make sure you comment down below. We'll just get you the link in the chat. So make sure if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that, just comment "sell" down below. I'll make sure we get you the link to it so that you can go forward and look at that video and try to figure out what that what that was like. But I'd love to share that with you a little bit as well. I've also done this in Idaho. We closed on our Idaho facility in February of 2021. So I've been doing this for a while. Everything that I have ever done has been remote in this world. And the reason that I decided to do it that way was a few reasons. One, it was what was available to me at the time as I was getting into this. And number two, what I found, and I actually really enjoy operating these facilities remotely, is it allows me to be a little bit more focused on running the business, and I don't get so caught up in the day to day. I don't have to be at the facility. I don't get caught up in like trying to micromanage people. I manage them from afar, and I make sure that they are doing the things that they need to be doing, and that they have the resources that they need to have. If they have questions or they need anything, I'm here to help them and guide them, and jump in there and and make sure that they have everything that they need so that they can be successful as they're launching their assisted living business. That's what I do for you guys. But for the ones that are running the business, it really, and I've heard from my administrators, they really appreciate that. It really, for them, lets them feel confident that they have my trust, that they're going to do the things that they should be doing as they try to run our business and do their job to help us be profitable. That's the big reason why I do it this way. It has helped me out a ton. It didn't take me very long. Like it took me when I first started, I was a little bit scared, honestly, about doing this remotely and be like, oh my gosh, how am I going to handle this being out of state? But as I got into it, I realized I actually really enjoy it. It works really well for the type of management I would do, because I would be in there consistently. My initial look at a facility was somewhere that was pretty close to me here in the Salt Lake Valley in Utah, and I'm glad I didn't get that, because it allows me to just work on the business and help people from that standpoint. It is a little bit difficult. It's different because I'm not in the facility all the time. I don't have the same relationship with my residents that those of you who do operate locally have. But we still go to our facilities multiple times a year. You know, we'll take donuts or something that's maybe diet appropriate for our residents, and just go in there, hang out, get to meet with them, talk to them, and it's kind of good and kind of fun. And also from a it allows our administrators, I've heard this feedback from them as well, for us sometimes to be this nebulous person that they can use with other staff or even residents who may be out of line, that okay, well, I'm going to escalate this up to Brandon, which whether they do or not is is another thing. And I'm not a person that's going to come down and just really hit somebody hard for doing something. But it has allowed for some really good opportunities there. So I or options, I guess, not opportunities, options for how to handle those situations. That's why I do it. It works really really well for me. So now let's get into a little bit more of the how. So I talked a little bit there about the why I do this, how I've been, where I've been doing it. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the how. How can you operate remotely? And that's probably why you're here watching this video. So um, when it comes to this, you want to be hiring the right people. You have to have really good, solid people inside of your facility that can manage the day to day, and you have to be able to trust that person, because they are running the day to day. They have access to a lot of different things, and they're doing, well, hopefully what you have asked them to do. And a lot of the time it works. Like we've had very very few instances where we've had to have a tough conversation with our administrators. They do a great job, but you have to hire the right people, specifically your administrator. You need to make sure that you have somebody that knows the rules and the regulations, that they can run the business well, that they know how to hire other staff members, that they know how to handle families and interact with families, that they can just take care of all the meal planning and coordinating all of the extra maintenance things that are happening at the facility and all of those things. You have to hire somebody that has that experience, because there is a lot that goes into it. So you need to have a really really good person at that, and hire the right person. I talked about this video or two ago, where you need to hire slowly and fire quickly. You need to hire somebody, take a lot of time to make sure you are comfortable with that person before you sign off and offer them a position. And if they are not meeting expectations, you need to probably let them go quickly, because otherwise you're going to get yourself in a bad situation. So you want to make sure you're doing that. In that vein, you want to be setting very clear expectations, whether that's reporting into you, responding to you when you ask questions, how you want things run, when you're going to be checking in. You will want to, as an owner operator that is out of state, want to come up with a criteria that you have, the expectations that you have, and make sure that is very clearly communicated out to your administrator and the rest of your staff and the people in your facility. That's going to help out quite a bit. Next is communicating. Communicating is key. When you're out of state, you need to have a good communicator. Both ways, you need to communicate your needs, your expectations. You need to communicate those things very clearly, but you need to have a standard of communication with the people that are in the facility. That's how you're going to be able to tell if they're doing their job or not. This is one of the most difficult pieces, and I have dealt with administrators in the past that are not good communicators, and it's extremely frustrating when you're out of state. And so that's something that you have to make sure that you have in place, or else you're just not going to be successful. The other thing with it is, with the administrator being the person that handles all of the stuff for you and running the business and doing the day-to-day and all the things that they are doing, which is extremely important, and you want to make sure you have a good person, you have to still be aware of burnout. I have suggested to my administrators in the past that they should have some kind of an assistant, whether it's an assistant administrator or an administrative assistant that can help out with paperwork, because there's so much that goes into this job when you're an administrator, and it's really hard to keep your head on straight and just handle and manage everything going on there. It can be very difficult, and so you want to to make sure that you're encouraging those people. Maybe you're going to have to pay a little bit more to have that extra person there, but having that person there to help your administrator not get burned out because they have to cover all of the extra shifts and do all of the things that an administrator does, and all of those things is going to help out quite a bit. So you want to make sure that you are that you're doing that for sure as you get into that. So hire the right people. It's really important. Next is, let's talk a little bit more about how to do it. You as the owner or operator, I want to make sure this is clear because I've seen a lot of confusion with this. I get this comment on some of my videos quite often, actually, a couple a month. It seems like, where they ask, how are you doing this? How are you the administrator? Or at one point, I've actually had 2 administrators quit on me in the past. 3 administrators quit on me in the past with very short notice, and I have done videos on those and they're really raw, and me telling you a little bit about what that looks like. And the comments that I get, the questions that I get are often something along the lines of, why don't you just, hop in and take care of it? Why don't you be the administrator? And there's a few reasons why. I don't live there, number one, but I'm also not a licensed administrator for my facilities. So I cannot do that for my facilities. I don't have an administrator license. I understand the process of getting it, and I could go get it if I wanted to, but I don't have a need to do it, and frankly, I don't have the time to go and do that. So I hire people for it. Okay. So you as an owner operator do not have to be the administrator. There's 3 big roles in here. There's the owner, the operator, and the administrator. You can be all 3, or you can be any one of those 3, depending on where you're at in this process. And you can be any combination of those 3, but those are the 3 big key roles that are kind of at this high level. So if you think of all your staff down here and your residents are down below there, up here at this high level, you have those 3 positions. Okay, there's tiering there, but that's what you're going to see. Now, the administrator has to be on site. There are rules. The administrator needs to be there. They have to have a license in that state to be an administrator. They have to have their license on the facility. They can delegate in certain circumstances, but they have to have their license over the facility, stating that they are being compliant with all of the rules and regulations. They're following all the stuff with it. If there's an issue, then it falls on that administrator and their license. But you getting into this, if you don't want to, you don't have to be the administrator. So I want that to be very clear. And there could be some of you out there that are caregivers or RNs or even administrators that are watching this video, and maybe you don't have the ability to get into this, and maybe you don't have the financial means to do it, or something along those lines. You don't have to be an owner operator, or maybe you can be the administrator / operator, or like an administrator owner. But there's ways to do this where the value you are bringing to this business opportunity, to this investment opportunity, is your skill set and your knowledge and your ability to be the administrator. And so you need to find people that have funds that can work with you. And there's probably people out there that are watching this right now who just have the money, and you're really interested in assisted living because of the income earning potential of this type of a business. And that type of income is real, which is really exciting, but you don't have the experience with healthcare, and you don't know how to do it, and you don't know how to get into it. So that's where creating those types of partnerships can be really beneficial. But as an owner, as an operator, you don't have to be the administrator, which is good for people like me, right? It works really well for how I do this. Now, let's talk about licensing, because there is a little bit of confusion on this as well when it comes to licensing. I kind of alluded to this on that previous slide, where it comes to the administrator being a facility a licensed administrator in that state to be an assisted living administrator. So when it comes to licensing, there's 2 types of licensing. One is for the facility itself. Now, when you are starting an assisted living business, I teach a 5-phase process. You have to build a foundation. You have to find the perfect property. You have to obtain funding. Phase 4 is going to be navigating the rules and regulations and obtaining your facility license. That says, basically, this house can have assisted living in it. We can serve people that need assisted living services in this house. And phase 5, if you don't know, is running and scaling the business. Okay, but phase 4, you need to get that facility license. The next thing that you have to do, the other type of license, is the assisted living facility administrator license. There's a kind of a big long word there, right? Or a big phrase. But this is an individual who is the administrator of the facility. They have to have a license to be an administrator of an assisted living facility. Okay, and now states, they may call it something different. There's care homes, there's certified family homes, whatever. There's all kinds of different phrases for this, and so the administrator may not be called an assisted living administrator in your state, but there's an equivalent, right? So I'm just speaking in generalities here because I don't know who you specifically are that's watching this, but you can figure that out pretty easily. Now that administrator license, you have to have the facility needs to have a license on it. And you need to have a person, an administrator that has a license. Those two things have to go together for you to run this business. In fact, one of the things that you need to have when you are obtaining your facility license is the person that's going to be your administrator. You have to have them on your application. What is their license number, their qualifications, basically a resume of that person as part of your application process. So you need that person to be there. So the administrator, like I mentioned, is needed for the application, but that person does not need to be you. In the case where, like me, where you're filling out the facility license application, you hire an administrator, you have their information, then you have the owner information on there as well, where their qualifications, the contact information, where they live, the kind of a bio on there is kind of how that ends up working. They're not going to turn you away because you don't have experience working in assisted living. That's not going to be a thing, but they just need to have some of this information. Each state has their own kind of application process, forms and things that you got to fill out. So it's kind of what it looks like. Okay. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of doing this remotely, because there are some good and some bad things. And I've talked about this a little bit as I've gone through the video today. On the positive side, for why I really enjoy doing this, why I think operating out of state is a great way to run this business. And this one's actually not listed on here, but it opens up a lot more doors. So if you are in your state and it is too saturated with assisted living, or it's too complex and too hard for you to obtain a license in your state for whatever reason, it opens up more doors for you to do this in other states. So when I was getting started, I couldn't find anything in Utah. I couldn't. I looked really hard. There just wasn't anything out there that was going to fit for me. Now, after I purchased my first facility, all of a sudden I started finding them, like, multiple a day. They're just coming out of the woodwork. But at the time, I could not find them. I just couldn't. And I really wanted to do this. And so rather than just sitting there and waiting, I started looking in other places, and that's how I found my facility in Colorado and how I started moving forward and owning that business. Okay, so that's number one. Number two here is you're not doing the day-to-day work. So for you as an owner, there's a lot less burnout. You don't get tired of it. You don't get so entrenched in it that that you're micromanaging everything and everybody in the business. Gives you the ability to focus on those higher level things that need to be done to be a successful business. And in that vein, you're able to work on the business and not in the business. So you can look at ways to improve processes, reduce costs, scale your business. You can focus on those things rather than getting so entrenched in all the things that you have going on to just kind of keep the business running. You just hire somebody and they do that for you. And it's a great way to do it. Now, on the negative side, you're going to make less money. So that's something you have to be aware of. You are hiring somebody to do the work for you. And because you are hiring somebody to do that, to free up your time to work on all these other things, that money that could have been coming to you as the administrator is not going to come to you anymore. So it does reduce your income earning potential. So that's something you have to be aware of. That's why I tell you, when you are doing your business foundation, you need to spend a lot of time doing your underwriting. You need to figure out what type of costs are these going to entail and how many residents, what's my break even point. You want to figure out all of these numbers so that okay, I have the ability to pay somebody to do this. Your administrator is going to be your highest paid employee by quite a bit, and wages are going to be your highest expense. So this is on a per individual basis, your administrator is your most costly thing inside of your entire business. So you want to make sure that you can justify that from a budgetary standpoint, and that you're going to be able to pay that person. And that means you're going to make less money. So you got to be okay with that. But if you do your underwriting correctly and you're confident in your numbers there, it's not going to be a big deal. You just need to be aware of it. And the other one is delegating to other people can be really hard for some people. Like some of you watching this right now are probably thinking to yourself, there's no way. Like I could not trust anybody to run this business for me. Like if that's you, then type in type in delegate down below, because I'd love to. I'm super interested in hearing from people like you that like it's hard for you to delegate. Type in delegate. I'm interested. And why? Like I'd love to hear why. But I also get it, because you are taking this investment, you're putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into this to purchase an assisted living facility, to start one from scratch, whatever route you want to go to start your assisted living business. You're putting a lot of money, blood, sweat, tears. You're putting all the things into it, and it's really hard to give that up. And now you're going to trust somebody to take your baby and run with it, right? And it's really hard. So delegating is hard. I totally get it. But man, the time that it frees up for you when you do this correctly and you have the right people, that's why I tell you to hire the right people and go through the process correctly. It makes things so much better for you. So it's a great experience. You just have to kind of get beyond that fear of delegating. Okay. So for those of you that have been here live, thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to get into questions right now. So if you have any questions, go ahead and start typing those in. But I do want to remind those of you who are watching that we have our ALI Basics community. You can go check that out. Go to assistedlivinginvesting.net/basics and check that out. Now would be the best time for you to get in. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be keeping this open. I've been rethinking a little bit of the way that I do courses. And so this could be one of the last opportunities to join this for a while. So if you're interested, go check it out. ALI assistedlivinginvesting.net/basics. Get in our monthly member only calls, get priority answers here on YouTube and Facebook lives, and get a bunch of the other resources that are out there for you. So go check that out. Now, for those of you, again, that are live, go ahead and type in your questions. I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, all those things, so you get notified every time we put out content like this, because I do a lot of content and love helping people like you launch their assisted living business. It is one of my favorite things to do is helping people like you make progress and launch your assisted living business as you're trying to make trying to reach your goals, time, financial freedom, everything that you are interested in doing this, having a huge impact on the communities where you live. I love the impact that people get to make. It's a lot of fun for me to see that type of impact that you get to have, and for me as a coach, it's super rewarding. So let's see here. I've stalled long enough for people to type in their questions, I think. So let's see if I've got any here. Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to just move on. I'm not going to sit here with dead air. I was already a little bit late getting started. So we'll just go ahead and close out. I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you go and grab your free business plan checklist at assistedlivinginvesting.net/BP checklist. Go grab that free resource. Make sure you're getting in our ecosystem so I can help you as you try to make progress and launch your assisted living business. Again, it is one of my favorite things to do. I love coaching people. I really do. I would love to coach you. So does residential assisted living sound interesting to you, but you don't know how to get started? At Assisted Living Investing, I'm here to help beginners like you launch their assisted living business in the next 12 months. And remember, it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Just keep going step by step by step. And I promise you, if you do and you're consistent and persistent, you're going to be successful. Thanks for watching and have a great day.